Blue Strips was like the fastest, least effort I've ever put into a song in my life.
Our last interview, you had talked about your love for mini pigs.
Wilbur's the greatest. I unfortunately can't have him in my place in LA, but that's my best friend for life.
What can the fans expect as far as new music on the way?
Well, I can say this album that's gonna come out before tour, it's very 60s Elvis, but it's also very 2000s trap.
With that said, if you could cover any Elvis song today, ready to go, what's like your go-to karaoke Elvis track?
Ooh.
I want you on your worst behavior. Touch me like a gangster. Ride me, baby boy, give it hell. This bed ain't gon' break itself.
What's up, Jessie?
Hello.
How you been?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Last time we talked was right around this time last year, maybe a little earlier. And a lot's changed. A lot's gotten bigger. The audience has gotten bigger. The hits, the streams have gotten bigger. The hair has gotten bigger.
The hair has gotten bigger.
How are you feeling? It's just been such a rocket ship since I feel like the last time I saw you.
Dude, I'm feeling really good today. I'm feeling really happy. I'm happy to be talking with you. I'm in New York. I got no complaints. Life is beautiful. How are you feeling? How have you been?
I'm good. I've been good. Listen, we saw you play House of Blues, which, seems so small in comparison to some of the stuff that you've been doing. But I remember this room that holds about 1,000 people, and you did a cover of Valerie, and it was just, not that your own songs don't already show stop, but it was that moment when I heard your raps, the voice, the control there that I went, okay, this is something special. And it's just so cool to see everything you've been doing, to see Wilbur the Pig on the ACM's carpet, which I'm sure everyone's bringing up, but I got to do my due diligence. I got to know about the pig. Because I think our last interview, you had talked about your love for mini pigs.
Yes. Oh my God.
And so it came to fruition. Yeah.
It did. It did come to fruition. Wilbur's the greatest. He is in Texas right now. Yeah. I unfortunately can't have him in my place in LA, but anytime I'm in Texas, we're going to hang out.
Is Wilbur with a family or a farm that you know, or?
Yes, great people. His family is the greatest. They're so sweet. But yeah, no, that's my best friend for life.
Yeah, your BFF for life. Who needs a man when you got Wilbur?
Thanks.
Yeah. Talk to me about Blue Strips. I like that you had to go on social media and explain what Blue Strips were. They're $100 bills if you didn't know. It's the security strip on a 100. But this song, I mean, I remember the last time you put something out that went that quick, that fast was Wild Ones to me.
Yeah.
You've been teasing it for so long. And then the minute everyone got it, it was like, this is huge. Blue Strips is that times 1,000.
Yeah, you got me throwing blue strips, bed tits in a strip club, throwing ones at your bitch, and I know you know what's going on. I'm going home, I'ma take it off for him, I'ma strip down all your wrongs.
Talk to me about this song.
Yeah, I don't know. It's been such a whirlwind. Blue Strips was like the fastest, least effort I've ever put into a song in my life. I was just having fun. It was like late in the studio. It was really late at night, and they were playing beats, and I was just freestyling to everything, and they put the Blue Strips beat on, and I was just like, yeah, and it kind of came out super fast. Like I said, like 10 minutes. And one of the other songs on the album, I also wrote within like a 30-minute time period of that song. So it was just a magical night, and it's been so fun. Everything about Blue Strips has felt so fun. Performing, it's fun. Even posting it on TikTok, I'm like, yeah, I like this song.
Yeah, it's cool when you can be a fan of your own art. Not that people generally aren't, but when you start getting into the machine of trying to turn out albums and singles and whatnot, it's a relief, I would imagine, when something comes that quickly and you're like, I really love this track.
Yeah, I think some things are just meant to be, and I think some of the fastest songs that are just like pouring out of you. So I think there's something to say about fast songs and why they're so easy.
Yeah.
Like I think it's because you're meant to write them. You're meant to have that song, baby.
Is there a certain environment you need to turn out those fast songs?
Absolutely. I need to feel 100% safe. I need to be around people that I trust.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That night it was just me and this wonderful lady named Laura Belts, who I write most of my stuff with. and we were just having a great time. There was champagne involved, and it was a great night.
Do you have a champagne of choice?
No, I'll drink anything. Actually, I like cheap. Like I'm thinking I'll grow out of that. But I love cheap. Like Bud Light is like my favorite beer.
Bud Light's great. That's a great beer. Don't get me wrong, but you gotta be careful with cheap champagnes because as you will learn, and I'm sure some of my other elders have warned you, that stuff will give you a real headache. It's fine when you're in your 20s, okay. But
no, I know. I definitely wake up the next morning after cheap, and I'm like, fuck, I hate it.
But you got a song out of it.
I got a song out of it, and yeah, fuck it. Like gas stations will always be my go-to. They got the goods.
What's the gas station like go-to if you're purchasing as far as snacks go?
Oh, snacks. I really like, those sweet tart ropes that are filled with like cherry stuff?
Yeah.
I like those, but in
all the stuff we probably shouldn't consume, but it's just so good.
Yeah, I love hot Cheetos, and I love Gatorade, but I like the bottle that's long. This is terrible. I like the bottle that is long and has the like screw
the twisty cap.
Yes, with the hole in it.
We actually just had the debate on my show a couple of days ago. What do you have a specific flavor for Gatorade? What's the only right answer?
Ooh, actually, I go back and forth. I like grape a lot.
Okay, that's a different choice.
Really? Yeah, I like the yellow, too.
So I was having this conversation with my co-host, and he was like, honestly, you could tell who grew up with money and who didn't because the flavor packs, the 3 little mini ones, were like red, yellow, and orange. And then I was like, blue all the way. And he's like, dude, that's because you grew up in a white picket fence neighborhood. You were able to get the blue Gatorade.
Bro, you had that blue Gatorade life? That's lit.
I don't know that okay, he's off camera right now, really preaching that he got that right. All right, let's get away from snacks because we got something bigger to talk about. Worldwide hysteria, world tour, headlining tour. This is crazy. It's
crazy. Are you going to come to one of the shows?
Of course. As long as the invite stands, yeah.
The invite stands? You better come.
I'll make sure I got myself right. Listen, it's not going to be your first time playing major rooms or major stages. Obviously, you had Coachella under your belt. You've popped on with Jelly Roll more than a few times, and you've played some crazy shows in your own right. But now to have it and say, this is the Jessie Murph tour, right? This is my name. My image is all over this. Are you starting to think production of what you want to do a little bit bigger and better now that the budget's there, now that the rooms are a little bigger to accommodate?
Definitely. I'm gonna have dancers with me, and I'm gonna be able to do some of the like stunts and stuff I want to do. Yeah. And having like choreography for the first time, it's gonna be insane and something I've have yet to really do on tour before. So that's gonna be fun. I'm really diving into like performance. I want to get so good at it. That's the one thing that I'm not as like in the studio. I feel free as a bird, and like I can just create anything, but performing is like a different art and something I want to get really good at. So I'm going to be working real hard before this tour.
I like that. And I like that, it's not forced. It's not like, oh, now you want to dance. I mean, you have the cheerleading background and whatnot. So it's something you've been doing, but to come from the Jessie Murph on stage for the first time, you maybe don't know what side of the stage to hit, where to go. Now that you have backup dancers and a whole performance behind it. Are we still going to pull out the jump on the security guard shoulders move for Wild Ones?
We might. ID, that's my guy. I love him. But I don't know. Towards the end of the last tour, when I started doing that, it was crazy. Somebody tried to steal my snoot. Somebody tried to steal my nail off my hand, my acrylic. And I was like, that's not cool. Don't do that. I know. It started getting hectic, so maybe not, but I might have to break down.
You gotta just get a little higher up. Maybe we'll do the pink with flying through the crowd.
Yo, that's lit. I love those.
Would you do it?
I would absolutely do it. And that used to be my main thing. I was like, once we have the budget for it, I want to fly. But then I did it for a music video, and I realized that harnesses are actually fucking terribly uncomfortable. Yeah. So I'm not doing that anymore, but I figured I could fly in a different way. And that's the cheer stunts.
Okay. All right. That to me is actually more impressive because you have to know how
Thank
to.
You.
Yeah. As someone that had to fly once, I was part of what do we call it? Powder Puff, where the girls played football and the guys were the cheerleaders.
What?
I was the lightest at the time, and they're like, "You're flying," and I was like, "Oh!" Yeah, they in reality probably got me up like maybe 6 feet in the air, but it was terrifying.
Yeah, I was about to say, how'd you feel about it? Was it scary?
It wasn't the best moment of my life. A scream came out of my mouth that I'm not proud to admit how high pitched it was, but I'm not Jessie Murph. I'm not practiced with it.
No, you probably killed it. That's iconic. I'm glad you told me that.
Just trying to live your life in the best way possible in retrospect. But as someone that's been following you for a minute, and obviously the accolades are more than deserved, and how much you've put into this music, and how hard you continue to grind. I would also say when you kind of get to peek into your social media, it seems like a lot of controlled chaos, right? You're able to handle whatever happens left, right, in between. What's something that you're almost anticipating? I don't want to say going wrong, but you're like, oh, this is going to get crazy when I'm on tour.
That's a good question. I don't know. I mean, hopefully nothing goes wrong. I think that, like, I'm obviously nervous for the cheer stunts. I'm like, I got to make sure those, there's always a risk of like falling. That would,
yeah, we don't want funny. That. That's not what we're getting.
But yeah, definitely be a viral moment. But I don't know. Hopefully I drill them enough, the stunts, that they don't. But I don't know. I have a lot of good energy towards it. I think that everything's going to be really fun and great. And I'm going to get to see all my people, and it's going to be fun.
What's it like to sell out an arena in Alabama?
So crazy, man. That was probably the most surreal moment of my career thus far. It's somewhere I like went as a little girl, and I remember anytime I was at a hockey game and they would like pull out their phone lights, they always like have some sort of moment like that. I would get really emotional. I'd get like tears in my eyes because I was like, I'm going to do that one day. Like probably like 11, 12 years old. I just had this like inner knowing that it would happen. And when it did happen, it was the craziest feeling I've ever felt. Yeah. Wow. It was so special.
Yeah. As you're getting ready to embark on this tour and playing festivals and Bonnaroo and all of this on the way, are you putting a pause on the music right now in terms of churning new stuff out, or are you able to turn that switch off for a moment and being present, or is it constantly working on new music?
I mean, I like to be constantly working on it, not even because of, I feel like I have so much music in my vault, just because I have a hard time stopping. And it's because I use it as my therapy. I'm like, I almost have to, if I don't write for a while, I start to lose it a little because I need to be getting that stuff out, and that's how I do it. But I've been good about taking breaks. I've been traveling so much, but I'm actually going to the studio tonight for the first time. I know, so I'm really excited about that. But I'm normally in the studio like every day that I have free.
Is it in the notes app then that you're writing lines, like one-off stuff, or?
I actually don't write. I really? Don't write until I'm in the studio, and even then I sit down and I have a mic and I have somebody play chords, and I'll just like freestyle. It's the easiest way for me to get things out without, it's always fucking weird when you go into a studio and normally people will be like, what are you going through? And that's fucking weird. Like no one wants to sit down and talk about that.
Right.
So I find it easier to just say it while you're singing, but I don't know. Everyone's different.
I really like that though, because that's not an answer you hear a lot. Kind of I don't want to call it procrastination, but it's like, I just want to be in the moment and do it when I'm there, which is how I've actually personally handled a lot of like when I'm on stage or doing stuff with the show. It's if I prep too much, it's just inauthentic. Does that sound familiar?
Oh my God, 100%. No, you're killing it over there.
Yeah, well, thank you. I wasn't fishing for a compliment, but Jessie, I'm so excited to see what's next. I'm just so excited to see the tour when it comes through town. I'll end on my due diligence question. What can the fans expect as far as new music on the way? Well,
I can say this album that's going to come out before tour.
Okay, I'll take it.
Yeah.
We'll see it later.
It's very 60s Elvis, but it's also very 2000s trap. So it's a mix of those two things, I'd say. A little drops of soul and country in between, but there's a lot of special stuff on it, and I'm really proud and excited for everyone to hear it.
2000s trap meets Elvis. I'm ready. Okay, one bonus question, then I'll let you go because I know the label's already barking. But with that said, if you could cover any Elvis song today, ready to go. What's like your go-to karaoke Elvis track?
Ooh. There's a lot of good ones. I think one of my favorites is called Love Me. It's really sweet. I like that one. Probably that.
All right. I'll take it. Jessie, I can't wait to see you on tour. Congratulations on everything.
Thank you. I'll see you there.
I will see you there. I promise. Talk soon.
All right. Bye.
All right, so this is getting a little interesting. Jessie Murph, thanks for checking out that conversation on the Spout podcast. We're kind of getting a 3-for-1 today because I got Tamara Dia here.
Yes, hello.
She has big Taylor Swift news she wants to talk about. She's the number one Swiftie. She's claimed this on the internet for years.
What are you talking about?
I'm setting you up for success, Tamara.
Are you? I feel like any real Swiftie would be able to call me out immediately.
We'll find out, won't we?
Yeah.
Which will be fun for me either way. But before we get into the Taylor Swift news, Somber, we actually had him on the Spout podcast not too long ago. I think it was only a few episodes ago that Nick Major talked to him. But he's got a lot going on. He just completely sold out his fall tour already. He has a new song that just released last week called We Never Dated. So I got a chance to quickly catch up with him while he was in Prague. Let's check that out. What's up, Somber?
Ooh, I was muted. Hey, how's it going?
Classic start. Classic remote interview start.
True.
Dude, let's start with this. Where in the world are you? Because you played Amsterdam and then you got Cologne coming up. Are you still in Europe?
I am in Prague right now. I have a show tomorrow.
So
I'm just chilling in Prague.
Yeah, how's Europe been, man?
Super fun. It's always a crazy feeling going to a new city and having people that speak a different language know my music. It's kind of shocking.
Yeah, I have to imagine so. I mean, you know, you've had such a I don't want to call it a glow up, but just an impressive and deserved last few months, right? You were on a podcast that I'm also associated with called the Spout Podcast with Nick Major, and that is right when you put Undressed out. You know, and now to hear and see where it's at, you know, is crazy.
Yeah.
There's a specific line in Undressed I wanted to get your thoughts on real quick. It says, "You say you don't mean what you've said or what you're saying to me, but the glimmer in your eyes is telling me other things."
You're saying to me what you're saying to me, but the glimmer in your eyes is telling me other things.
So I'm getting from that windows, eyes to the soul, or eyes are windows to the soul, right? How good of a read do you have on people? Like how much of a BS meter do you have when someone's talking to you?
I might be tooting my own horn here, but I think there's no one better at reading people than me. I always know before someone is going to lose their shit, and I always know when something's off, I feel like. And I feel like I can always read eyes. The eyes tell you all the emotions and everything you need to hear.
Yeah. You play poker?
No, I don't.
Okay. I'm just saying, if you can read someone like no one else ever,
Poker.
Maybe I should.
Maybe you should try it. Yeah, Europe's got some good casino.
You're the next poker star. You were just on BBC Radio 1, and I've always been such a fan of anytime that they have someone in their live lounge doing covers and whatnot. You obviously performed your own music, but you also did a cover of Lord Ribs.
I want him back, the minds we had, now all the thoughts go round our head. I want him back, the minds we had, it's not enough to feel the lack. I want him back.
Give me a little insight. Let's get nerdy with it. I'm a tech guy. I'm a production guy. I want to know like what goes into taping at Radio 1 and doing a cover there.
It's crazy. Before I went on, I didn't really know what it was because I don't pay attention to that stuff. But I went on and it was just I get there and they're like, okay, it's gonna be live. You can't do it a second time. They're just gonna introduce you on the air and then you do it. And I was like, so it's like that. So yeah, it's they have really good mixers. They were able to kind of nail it right away. So I went there with my band. We played the songs and it was over in 10 minutes.
That's crazy. So compared to, you just did the Tonight Show too with Fallon, which congratulations to you. That's always a rite of passage. Comparing those two live performances, do you have more rehearsal time when you do Fallon then?
Yeah, way more rehearsal time for Fallon. It's a whole set design thing, and we were able to get really creative. I think Live Lounge is more just a stripped It's just about the song and the performance and nothing else. So yeah, I found that was like the biggest full circle thing that could ever happen for me. Like that.
I can imagine. So
highlight of my career so far.
Well, yeah, and you're an LES kid. I lived in Hell's Kitchen for years, so I'm sorry, West Side, Best Side on my side of this. But with that said, you know, New York knows what the Tonight Show means, right? And even if you don't know the history of like how important 30 Rock is, and you don't have to be in New York for that, you know what it means to walk in that building, right? Especially as a musician, especially as someone that studied art and is now producing and making a living from art in New York City, right?
Yeah.
What was the feeling like when you walk into the door? Had you been into the 30 Rock building prior to that? That's my first question.
I don't think I'd been in that building, but it was like kind of like a dream, like something that felt like it was never supposed to happen.
Yeah.
Like it was like the simulation. Like I would grow up going in the taxis and we'd see the Tonight Show on the taxi, like Jimmy Fallon. Sure. I was like, okay, I'm going there today and I'm going to be the person on Jimmy Fallon. So it was just a next level weird feeling.
Radio City is next. You got to know that, right?
Yeah, I hope so.
You've got a tour coming up this fall, completely sold out. It's always a good position to be in when you have to add extra dates. You got Australia and New Zealand coming up. I don't want to put you in a pigeonhole of like, well, this is the city I'm most excited for, but is there somewhere you haven't traveled yet that you're like, wow, I'm just pumped to see what the culture's like? Australia
is super exciting because it's a new continent for me. And it's going to be the biggest rooms I've headlined so far. And I've also heard the girls are really pretty there. So that's why I'm really excited for Australia.
All right.
I love you're going to earn some fans on that one. If presented with the opportunity, do you know what a shoey is?
Yeah. Isn't it where you put a beer in your shoe? And
if they peer pressure you on stage.
Hell yeah. You don't even have to peer pressure me to do that.
You're like, I'm willing to do it. I've done it once in a bar in Chicago. So I'm even super easy
peer pressure.
But that's great, man. I'm so excited for everything you got going on, dude. I've been a fan since, we were helping to produce the episode with the Spout podcast a couple of weeks ago.
Thank
and I
you.
was like, okay, Back to Friends it just hits home. I think obviously without saying much to a lot of people what that feeling's like. And then Undressed is just so good. Now I got to do my due diligence. You do have this break during the summer between tours after you wrap up Europe. And I'm sure you have some one-offs and whatnot, but what's the big focus for Somber this summer?
Writing and recording. There's like a few festival dates here and there, but man, I just want to make more music, never stop.
Now I'll end on this because it's a quote that really, really got me. When you were on the podcast, you said, no one can decide who can make it, or no one who can decide who can make it in music, but the people, right? And, internet can literally decide if a song's a hit or not overnight. And that happened with Caroline, with you when you were still at LaGuardia. Studying the craft of music and performing. How much of that is in your head when you're writing? Because it can be a little daunting. Like, are people going to like this, or am I being true to my own artistry?
Yeah, I think when it becomes a thing of like trying to please an audience with your writing, it's not a good thing, if that makes sense.
No,
totally. I feel like the most authentic thing should just come directly from you with no, outside factors. And then I think that will always, relate the most with the people. And that's really what Back to Friends and Undressed were like. Those were like no expectations, not trying to chase anything, just truly for me. And that's what I think does best.
I think 100%, and coming back to like you being just a great read on people. And I want to make sure I get this right. Quote, the best in the world at reading people and have a good BS meter.
No, I am the best in the world at reading people.
The best in the world.
Yes.
Damn straight. Somber, I hopefully, and not, offending when I say this, but, you're still newer in the industry. A lot of people may not have heard yet. But if you don't know, you should know. With that said, what's an artist that you were put on to that you were early on and now it's like, oh, people know now?
Dude, I don't know. I don't know. It's hard because I listen to a lot of older stuff that has been around since before me. So
before you're doing your history lessons.
I'd like to say I knew Billie Eilish pretty early.
Okay. You're like, Ocean Eyes. I knew about it way before anyone else.
way before everyone else.
I love that.
All right, dude. I'm so excited for this success. I'm excited to catch up more after some of this writing and recording this summer. And I'm pumped to see you when you're in Chicago, man.
Thank you for having me. Hope to see you there.
Of course, dude. Talk soon.
Talk soon.
What's funny is Tamra, because you voice all of the intros to the Spout podcast, right?
I do, yes.
Even though you didn't do the interview with Somber, you were the first person to tell me about him. You're like, dude, I love his music. You got to check him out. So I did. And Undressed was the first song I heard. And I was like, wow, Tamra actually got me to like a song. No, it was genuinely very, very good. And I was like, wow, this is incredible. I did my deep dive. And then I heard the episode when it came out, because just a little inside baseball. We don't usually hear each other's episodes until they're publicly out there, right? So shout out to Nick. You know, he's a friend of both of ours, but he did such a great job with that interview that I was like, I wonder what Somber's doing now. You know, it's been 6 weeks since I think we chatted with him. So we got the chance to catch up with him, and that was really cool. So a little bonus person today as part of the Jessie Murph episode of the Spout podcast. Jessie Murph, of course, killing it, getting ready for her worldwide Hysteria tour that kicks off next month. She also is slowly releasing songs from her upcoming album. Her most recent release, Touch Me Like a Gangster, is out now. I'll let you...
Great title.
I'll let you just decipher what that could possibly mean. But with all of that said, we got some entertainment news to run back to, Tamra.
Yes, always. So as Eric mentioned, I am a Swiftie. I will say that. I'm going on the record. I freaking love Taylor Swift, but I am not diehard like these other Swifties, because these Swifties have been scouring the internet for Easter eggs, and they are convinced that all signs are pointing to a Sabrina Carpenter and Taylor Swift collaboration on Sabrina's new upcoming album, Man's Best Friend. So through these deep dives, these are some of the clues. Eric, you tell me if you are in on this or if you've jumped ship. But
I jumped ship.
You've already
sorry, I
jumped
didn't
ship.
wait. Yeah, all right, go ahead. Clue number one.
Clue number one is they are looking at the fonts on Taylor Swift's new merch and Sabrina Carpenter's album visuals, and fans think they look almost identical.
Yeah,
Fonts.
they just both like cursive.
Yeah. Okay.
I get it. And listen, I want to be very clear before you continue through these clues. Do I think a Taylor Sabrina collab could happen? 100%. It probably is, but that's not a clue that indicates that to me.
Right, fair. Well, there's another clue. Sabrina's new website is, fans think, giving a similar vibe to Taylor's Look What You Made Me Do merch.
The woman's had like 10 eras. At what point can you put out a visual that isn't going to look like something that Taylor Swift has done in the past?
Okay, fair. How about this one? Taylor's merch drop and Sabrina's album announcement happened on the same day.
That would probably be the first one where I'd be a little inclined of like, if they do have something happening, that's something I could see them planning as like a quote unquote Easter egg. But I don't know. It still seems very thinly veiled right now.
Okay, the last one, which I also admit is a stretch. Taylor's next studio album would be her 12th, and there are 12 tracks on Sabrina's upcoming new album, Man's Best Friend.
I mean this with respect, right? Because this is probably going to get clipped out. I'm a Taylor fan. I've gone to several Taylor Swift concerts, and I love what Taylor does. I think there's no harder working person in music right now that does things specifically for their fans than Taylor Swift. My own opinion. With that said, I hate when Swifties do math, because those numbers, you're just making numbers do what you want them to do, right? Like, give me a list right now of how many albums have 12 songs. Are all of those people working with Taylor Swift too? The answer is no. I'll answer it for you. It's the same people that are like, if you take 2025 and subtract the year I was born, it's how old I am. It's just math that's infuriating, because you're just making the numbers do what you want them to do. That's absurd. Them releasing or announcing the collection and the album on the same day or the same release day, that has a little more weight. And again, I'm saying with this, I hope that they do a collab together. I think it would be a fire collab. I mean, Taylor had Sabrina Carpenter open up on the Eras Tour. It's part of the reason Sabrina blew up so much over the last year. With all that said, I have to imagine that at some point Taylor Swift just sees these fan theories and goes, oh yeah, that's a good idea. I'll do that.
Yeah, I mean, I think so too. I think sometimes she'll see something online and be like,
yeah,
maybe I'll do this.
You don't have to think of the Easter egg anymore if the fans are doing it for you.
Yeah, it makes it easy. I mean, like you said, I also agree. It would be a very easy collaboration for the two of them, just because they have already a friendship and this basis of a working relationship as well.
Yeah.
So it would make sense. I do think that Swifties are reaching here with the clues. I think the biggest clue that they missed, honestly, was that they both work with Jack Antonoff.
Hello, yeah, produces both for both of them, 100%.
So that to me is the biggest clue on the table that I did not see in the Swiftie bylaws when it came to this collaboration.
Was so bad. This is the use where I don't love that ChatGPT is so widely available for people, because people are going to be like actually creating legalese of like releases and whatnot.
Right. Well, I mean, that was me. That wasn't ChatGPT.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay.
So I think it would be exciting. We'll all find out on August 29th when Sabrina releases Man's Best Friend.
You think, okay, now I'm getting more. So everyone thinks Taylor's going to feature on a Sabrina song.
Yes, they think that the collaboration
in my head,
come.
I'm still like, if Taylor is having Sabrina, it's going to be on a Taylor song, but I could see it. I don't know. I hope it happens. I'm not saying it's not. I just think that using a little bit of cursive to draw the conclusion and to connect the dots is absurd. Especially when the cursive, by the way, the referencing from Sabrina's is just her initials. It's just C or SC. That's it. It's if it were the same color scheme, there's been Easter eggs like that, but it's cursive. It's not even. I mean, someone who's a graphic designer could probably tell me what font it is, but it's not like it's a custom font for that. It's infuriating.
You're really impassioned by this, Eric.
And I'm conflicted because I like both of them, and I think it would be a great collab, and I hope it's happening. I'm not going to say I hope I'm wrong, because I'm not wrong. Even if it is happening, it has nothing to do with the freaking cursive. Anyway. All right, I got one more story for you, Tam, because I want to get you.
Okay, hit me.
Yeah, as the #1 Taylor Swift fan, you're also the #1 Drake fan in the world. You said on record that you stan your man and you think that he won the war between Kendrick Lamar.
What records are you referring to?
Did I quote that correctly?
No. You absolutely did not.
Tamara's like, I live in LA. Stop saying that.
Yes.
No, but Drake, after, essentially being canceled by the West Coast, then the entire nation, then most of Canada, now is going to country music. Morgan Wallen had his second night in Houston, and he does this like walkout series in the vein of like an NBA player or a WWE wrestler, and he has different celebrities who are in town join him. Drake surprised the crowd and joined Morgan Wallen on this walkout. So now I have to ask, is Drake going country?
I mean, I would not put it past Drake to dip into the country music world simply because it is the trend right now that almost every other artist is moving into country because Beyonce led the way. But I think it would be dumb. Those are my thoughts.
That's a very honest and simple review. Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
I'm not a Drake fan like that, so I really don't care. And to be clear, I'm not trying to be like the cool guy that's like, Team Kendrick. I don't know a lot about either of them, right? I obviously know what's been in the news, and I have a lot of friends, yourself included, Tamara, who are better versed in it and whatnot. And I like some of the Drake records, but that being said,
what the hell does he know about country music?
Yeah. What the hell does he know about country music?
I will always reference that.
Yeah. And I think at the end of the day, he's making headlines most recently of how much money he's lost gambling, which he's obviously making public because he knows that it will garner attention. I don't think this bodes well. I think we've always known he's a bit of a showboater, but it's just like, okay, dude, like how are you even going to try to hide the fact that you're like desperate for people to talk about you? Like, yeah,
I mean, I think the bigger story on the table here is that a lot of the fans are kind of upset about him appearing with Morgan Wallen just because of Morgan's past indiscretions when it came to using racial slurs. Yeah. So I think that's kind of the bigger story. It wouldn't surprise me if Drake tried to go country because he has dabbled in other musical genres before. You know, he's done a lot in like the Jamaican side. Like he did the grime UK music scene. Mm-hmm. So he does that. It wouldn't surprise me. And honestly, it'd probably be good.
I'm not mad if he puts out a country record. If he does an album, I'll be upset. If you do a feature, sure, dude, whatever. Morgan's working with Tate McRae. He's working with different people across the board. It wouldn't shock me that that's an indicator of Drake jumping on a remix or a feature somewhere down the road. And it's fine, whatever. People do that all the time, and he gets hate for that. Then it's just people hating Drake. But if he puts out an entire album, that's just upsetting.
I agree with you. I mean, someone like Post Malone doing it makes sense.
Yeah.
But someone like Drake doing it feels like you said, attention seeking, clout chasing.
Yes. We'll see. All right. There you go. Your stories plus a Somber interview plus a Jessie Murph interview. 4 things for the price of one on the Spout podcast.
Look at us.
Look at us just giving out bargains. It's the 4th of July sale. Spout Podcast. You can find us on all platforms. If you're hearing us, go watch us on YouTube. If you're watching us, go listen to us wherever you get your podcast. Let us know if you enjoy the conversations. If you have questions that you wish we asked, because we have often, as you can see with the Somber interview, we do follow-up interviews. We'd love to know your thoughts. We appreciate you subscribing, liking, turn on notifications and all that stuff. On behalf of Tamara Dia.
Bye-bye.
And myself, Eric Zachary. We'll see you next time. Bye.